Trains. We're going to the Pro Day, Baker Mayfield. Robert Klemko is a great reporter. Monday Morning Quarterback will be joining us. You guys know how I feel about Baker Mayfield. But I do think Darnold, Rosen, and Baker Mayfield are all going to succeed at some level in the NFL. I just think Darnold's a can't miss. Rosen's a mostly can't miss. And Baker's got some miss. He's short and he runs a 4.85 40. He's not real athletic, and he's kind of short. He is accurate, but I think when you're that small, you have to run around a little bit, perhaps. He's going to need some pieces around him. By the way, Baker Mayfield, headband and all, I think Johnny Manziel wasn't as good a thrower as Baker Mayfield, but they are about the same size. They play down in the kind of the South. They play at, pretty profound offensive programs, and they both wear headbands. So they have those similarities. Here was Baker Mayfield talking to Joel Klatt about 10, 15 minutes ago.
The team that drafts you, what type of guy are they getting? What type of teammate are they getting? And ultimately, what can you provide them?
There's going to be a lot of hard workers in whatever locker room I'm going to be in, but I want to be the hardest one. That's something I've always prided myself on, was that I had to earn it, that I had to work to get it. And so they're going to get a guy that is going to, bust his ass, and then also he's going to want it more than anybody else. He's going to want to win for them, and he'd also do anything for his teammates. And so, people question, my character because of how passionate I am, but at the same time, once I'm in a locker room and doing that for those guys, I'd take a bullet for them, and the same for me.
Yeah, all right. What do you make of that, Goulet? He swore. I don't know if I like my quarterback swearing.
You swear all the time.
Yeah, that's true. That's a pretty good point. But I'm not a quarterback. I am a radio icon.
I'm surprised the FCC even allows us on the air.
I wanted to get him live. I'd test him, poke him, try to get him all worked up. Do we have a picture of Baker's headband and Johnny's headband?
Do we have a side-by-side?
They do kind of look alike a little bit.
I kind of doubt Baker wants to talk to you.
Yeah, probably not.
He's going to have to at some point.
No kidding.
At some point.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not one of these guys that sucks up to guys, and then when I get them on, I'm like...
There we go. Look. Okay, one's TMZ, one is just now.
I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't know people...
It isn't a thing.
I've never seen a guy doing that. Am I crazy on this? I go to the gym every day. I never see a guy wearing that.
Maybe if you're 18 to 22 years old. Well, Johnny's older than that, but he's a special case, so I don't know.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I mean, you don't date guys that wear that.
Really? If a guy wore that, you would be like, not...
I don't...
No, be honest.
Right now.
No, well, honestly, if you were at the gym and a guy was wearing that, what would you think?
Even if I was with somebody for a year and I really liked them, and then they came out with that at the gym, see ya, I'm in the car, and I'm gone, and the locks are changed. Bye.
So not even just to take it off, just a straight up, I'm gone.
First, I would ask him if he's having a stroke, and then if he's not, then I'm out.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a look. I mean, what do I know?
Yeah, your style's pretty good.
Well, for an insurance salesman. But I mean, I don't know. I just don't see that headband as a thing that's going to catch.
It's not a thing.
All right. Holly with the news.
All right.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
All right, Colin, according to sources, Golden State Warriors shooting guard Klay Thompson has a fractured right thumb and will be reevaluated next Thursday, March 22nd. But another report says he could miss several weeks with this injury. So this leads me to my next story. As we know, Steph Curry has missed the last couple of games with an ankle injury and is expected to miss at least another week with this injury. So, Colin, if you're the Warriors, are you concerned at this point?
Yes. No, I am. First of all, they're not the same team without Steph Curry. The tempo changes. And Klay Thompson, on his shooting hand, has a fractured thumb. Wow.
Right?
That is a story. Wow. Interesting. Now, you're not getting the number. Yeah, for John. Yeah, they're not getting the number 1 seed. So when they play Houston, they're going to open the series in Houston. Wow. This is interesting.
Enjoy that.
You guys think LeBron's got problems. Warriors are disintegrating. Be a 7 seed by next week.
All right, yesterday we found out that Danny Amendola was released by the Patriots. He's taken his talents to South Beach. Happy for him. And Rob Gronkowski actually posted a message to Danny on Instagram. Just a nice goodbye. I'll read you a little bit of it. He said, "It was an honor playing with you the past 5 years, Danny. Thanks for all the hugs and memories. Stay lit, be free, be happy." Goes on and on. I appreciated it all. Congrats. Enjoy Miami, kid. So, very nice, but check this out. So he capitalizes the words free and happy.
I saw that.
Cryptic going on here. Gronk said after the Super Bowl, this is the most stressful year of his career.
Yes.
No fun, etc. How long is he,
I'm glad you picked. That's a real thing.
You think so?
Yeah, if a guy was talking about, if a married guy sent a Instagram like that or a tweet to his single friend and said, "You're so lucky to be free,
be
happy," he's sending a message. That is Gronk sending a message. No question.
Whatever happened with the rumors, Gronk and WWE, by the way?
Oh, I think he's still. I think Gronk thinks it's easier to do that than it is to do that. Listen, Gronk complains that he can't get a day off. He only plays 7 months a year. Those WWE guys, 52 weeks a year. There's no weeks off for that. That thing is pro wrestling is a complete grind.
And they're actors, too. On top of all
oh,
that.
God, it is.
Sorry for everybody at home that might have thought it was real.
Yeah, exactly. But the travel for WWE is daunting.
Crazy.
I asked Stephanie McMahon, Vince McMahon's daughter, I said, "How do you do with the travel?" She said, 15 years ago, we started flying private. She said, before then, it's awful. It's tough on those wrestlers.
All right, that's the news.
Holly with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
All right, very exciting. Very exciting stuff. One of the stories today, the New York Giants, I think we should talk about this. They acquired Nate Solder. They're going to get OBJ back. So they have a premier left tackle, a star wide receiver. They have the number 2 pick. They'll probably get Saquon Barkley. So they're gonna roll it with Eli Manning. I'll tell you right now, I still think the Giants should draft a quarterback at number 2. I think in the NFL, if you could take a Josh Rosen and sit him for a year, I know the Giants don't want to draft a quarterback. They got a new left tackle, Nate Solder. I think that's a real loss for Tom Brady. I've watched every Patriot game for 15 years. Nate Solder's a really reliable left tackle, and frankly, left tackle for the Patriots between Matt Light and Solder has been a rock. And so the Giants got Eric Flowers. He got better last year, but he's not ideal. So they're upgrading the O-line, and it looks like they'll get a running back. Let's go via the Coward Global Satellite Network to Baker Mayfield's Pro Day. Robert Klemko, longtime NFL writer, the Monday Morning quarterback. All right, you were at Baker Mayfield's Pro Day, Robert. What did you think?
I thought it was a pro day. I think a lot of these teams come in and they take the throwing session with a grain of salt, and what they're really trying to do is talk to teammates, talk to coaches, and meet people who interact with these players every day and try to get a sense for who they are as people and who they'll be as teammates. It was, really important for Baker, I think, to hit a lot of these deeper throws that he was a little bit inaccurate with at the combine, and he did that. He also prioritized playing from under center, taking all of his snaps and doing a 3 or 5 step drop, and he did that well as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously people can compare Manziel. I think his comp, and I've always said this, Robert, I think Darnold's comp is Andrew Luck. I think Rosen's comp, a little Goff, a little Matt Ryan physically. I think Baker's comp is actually Case Keenum, where they're a little small. They're not world-class 40 guys. They're really accurate. They work their tail off. They were profound in college. I mean, when you talk to NFL teams, like what is the comp with Baker? Because I think Russell Wilson is unfair. Russell's a transformative all-time quarterback athlete. What is the comp with Baker?
I think people feel that if you compare him to Case Keenum, he's got a little bit more wiggle in the pocket. He moves around a little better. Really great against a pass rush. Probably the best quarterback in the FBS last year against the blitz. And I know people talk about not making the NFL throws, and I think that was a big criticism of Keenum coming out, that he came from an offense that was really simplified, didn't have full progression reads. And I know that Baker Mayfield hasn't made a tremendous amount of those throws. I asked a data service to isolate, Sports Info Solutions isolated throws from the pocket, that what people call NFL throws, the deep outs, the deep ends, the deep crossing routes. And he was 31st in the NCAA in terms of those attempts, but he was the most efficient on those attempts. And so I think what people really don't realize is that, he doesn't have that experience making a lot of these throws that they're going to ask him to make in the NFL, but he was one of the best in the NCAA last year when they asked him to make them.
What do you make of the video, the grabbing your junk? I mean, what do you make of that stuff? I don't like it at all, but I wouldn't mind it maybe for a linebacker, a corner, but God, I'm getting into a relationship for 15 years at quarterback. I don't love this stuff, Robert. What do you hear?
Yeah. I mean, I think that there are teams that definitely don't love this stuff and will have written him off over the course of this process for it. But I think that somebody's going to fall in love with it. What I heard from a head coach the other day is that Baker Mayfield's a flavor, and somebody's going to love that flavor. I don't see it as a deeper problem to where, I know people, including yourself, have made the Manziel comparison. I think it's an unfair comparison on the field, but also off the field, just because this guy doesn't have a track record of being a partier, doesn't have a track record of violence. So I think that a lot of people who he's interacted with here have been satisfied with the way that he's explained some of his missteps. But you're right. It's not ideal behavior for a franchise quarterback.
Yeah, Denver was Kubiak and Elway. Joel Klatt told me were there today. I mean, Robert, I look at the draft board right now. We know Cleveland's probably taking a quarterback. We know Buffalo's moving up to get one. Miami could take one, and I'm just talking top 12 here. So I think Baker's going to go really high. I think Denver and the Jets could still draft quarterbacks. I mean, outside of like Indianapolis, I kind of feel like in San Francisco, anybody could pick a quarterback. Give me a gut feeling, what you saw today, the teams you saw, what you're hearing with your sources. What do you think he potentially has a greater chance to go?
I think that key pick is the Colts pick at 3, because you figure the Browns could go Saquon or a quarterback at 1. The Giants could go a quarterback at 2. And the Colts are going to be looking to move that pick at 3 and try to get a little bit deeper in the top 10. I get the sense that they don't want to move too far back. So I think Miami would have to do a little bit more work than simply trading up from 11 and adding other assets. I think a team that's in a really good position to take him is obviously the Cleveland Browns. And I wouldn't put it past them to ensure a 4-3 swap with the Indianapolis Colts in order to get their guy. My gut says it's either going to end up being the Jets or the Browns, but you're right. A lot of teams are still in the market. The only domino that really changed anything was probably the Broncos signing Case Keenum. And I think that they'll end up having less priority on the position going into the draft.
Robert Klemko, Monday Morning Quarterback. I think we're picking all these guys apart a little bit. Listen, Sam Darnold threw for 7,200 yards in less than 2 years as a starter with an average O-line. Rosen's accuracy and skill level is very high. I can remember Jake Locker completing 54% of his college throws, and Steve Sarkisian was his coach the last couple years. He just wasn't accurate. Blaine Gabbert only had 16 TDs, 9 picks his last year at Missouri. I think we're nitpicking a lot of this stuff. I think Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, although I'd like to sit them for a year, could be NFL quarterbacks. Last couple years we've been lucky. Wentz was good. Goff was good. Do you think this class is being nitpicked, or the questions about all of them, like Rosen's durability? What do you make of this group from what your sources are telling you? Am I overvaluing it, or are we just nitpicking it?
I think so much depends on the system that they end up in. I mean, I think so much success that Wentz had and Goff had is attributable to finding coaches who really maximize what they did well. And some of these quarterbacks that haven't had success going from, the college to the pro system, a lot of them have been, square pegs stuck in round holes, to where maybe if they'd been drafted somewhere else to some more open-minded, innovative coaches, they would have had more success. I can't say that I think, the majority of this quarterback class is going to be great in the NFL, because that's just not how it works. But I do think that we probably have 2 really good ones here, and so much of it will depend on how and where they get drafted.
I'll throw one at you. Let's say the Browns. This is the thing, Robert. I was thinking about this driving in. So let's say the Browns are like, listen, we don't see a big difference between these quarterbacks. We're going to take Barkley. We want a home run hitter at running back. I do not believe the Giants could pass on Darnold. He's a big, strong kid in a windy stadium. Eagles have Wentz for the next decade. Dallas's personnel, Dak, Alex Smith now in division. I keep reading Giants won't take a quarterback. Robert, if Cleveland doesn't take Darnold, would the Giants not take him? Do you buy the Giants aren't taking a quarterback?
I don't think they've completely written that off. I don't buy that at all. I also don't know that Sam Darnold is the consensus number 1 in this class. I think Josh Allen is a guy that could sneak into the top 3 or 4 overall picks, and could even end up being the top quarterback chosen. But all of these guys do different things. very, very well. You know, Baker is a shifty guy in the pocket. You're going to have to design an offense around what they did at Oklahoma, at least to start. Josh Allen's a project. You know, a lot of these teams don't want to sit or don't want to play him immediately, but may draft him behind a veteran quarterback. Sam Darnold has an incredible amount of experience, but he doesn't do anything spectacularly well. He just feels like the most pro-ready prospect. But I'm not convinced, even if the Giants did pick a quarterback, that it's definitely Darnold.
Wow. Okay, finally, again, your overall feeling on Baker. You saw him throw. You saw deep throws. Robert, you've been to more than one pro day. Wow, pretty good, okay, meh. What do you say?
I think it's pretty good. You know, I think he struggled a little bit with the timing routes. And I talked to a head coach before this pro day who said, I want to see him deadly accurate on the deep outs and the deep ends. And he wasn't that. You know, the throws to the sideline, he hit about 60% of them. I don't think that teams are going to take that and move him up or down on their draft board. I think the biggest thing that he's doing here, the most important thing, is meeting with these teams. He had lunch with the Chargers yesterday. He has a meeting with the Giants after the pro day happening right now. And for the next several days, he's got teams coming in to work him out privately. Those are the places that really matter, the things that people really can't see from the outside.
That was good stuff. Robert Klemko, the Monday morning quarterback, live from the Baker Mayfield Pro Day. Really enjoyed this, Robert. Thanks for all your insight.
Thank you.
You bet. Pro Day would be weird, right? Like, let's say there was a radio Pro Day, and a bunch of people came and said, all right, Colin, perform. And I had to do, like, liners. This show brought to you by Geico. I don't like his voice inflection. Little weak, seem flustered.
You'd actually rate very highly, I'm sure.
It's weird, though. Like, a pro day is weird, right?
It is. Yeah, it is strange.
Have I done updates yet? Have I done an
With
update?
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
made such an impact on you.
No, it was such a long interview.
Yeah, we did.
Pro days are interesting, though. Wouldn't you be a little anxious?
100%.
I mean, you literally have 100 people your entire career all staring at you. I think a pro day would be real.
You got a couple hours to show them what you got. What if you have a bad day? I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
All right, you'd never turn down free money, right? That goes without saying. But if you're shopping online without the best coupons, well, then you're throwing away money. You're paying too much. Fortunately, there's a free browser extension called Honey that automatically finds the best coupons on the web, get the best price on everything, pizzas to big screen TVs. It's a free browser extension. And what it does is automatically save you money while you're shopping. It takes a couple of clicks. And you just add Honey to any browser, and you do it for free. And then you just shop like you normally do, and then Honey scans and tests all sorts of coupons, millions probably, in the background. And then at checkout, Honey automatically applies the best coupon. That's a really good idea for a browser. Time Magazine calls it free money. 7 million people have used it every day. It's free, takes seconds to install, and saves you money. Step up your online shopping game and get Honey for free. All you have to do is go to this. joinhoney.com/herd. joinhoney.com/HERD.